Okie dokie. Let's see if this works. Yep. Okay, that's going. Go live. I think that's doing the trick. We're good there, we're good there. Facebook is thinking about it. Yeah, there we go. And then we got this whole situation. I think that'll work. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Now I also wanted to be able to see that. But I can't. Maybe if I hold this guy out like this. Yeah, there we go. That kind of works. Okie dokie. Oh, hi.
You just started streaming?
Yeah. You're just in time. How's it going?
Good.
Good.
I just stopped home between tasks.
Gotcha. Very good.
Hi!
Yay! How was your morning?
Good. Busy.
How was that meeting?
It was really good.
Yeah, cool. God, the air conditioner is loud. Got a little fingernail in there. Oh, I need to delete the border here. Get that border out of here. Nobody wants your border. Breaking the panel gutter. How dynamic. Pretty good. It's strange, it doesn't seem to say. Oh, and I lost that. Damn it. Oh, there we go. Back, baby. That zipper clips. Is the music still going? Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, nice. Soilet's on its way. What fun. So what's your plan for the rest of the day?
I actually have to leave.
Oh my god. Literally just popping in to say hello. Are you going back to the workspace?
I'm running an errand.
Oh,
for
okay.
them, and then after that I have a meeting with
Oh, that's right. At Quarter World?
No, somewhere else.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh my god. Howdy, Tate. Yes. We are back in the apartment. Sandra is officially done at Stila. So we are, kicking it in the old apartment. Live/workspace. It's going good. It's actually nice being back here. I feel like it's always fun, you know, for a little while. And we've been like waking up at a good time, so it's not like we're like sleeping in super late. Which is, I feel like, the problem, for me at least, working at home. It's just so easy to sleep. But, yeah, it's going good. Yeah, I think they're trying to get rid of the, get out of the lease. And it's like a big whole thing. But yeah, we got all of our stuff out of there. And it's pretty much empty. But like I said, it's nice being home. Working back to back again. How are you doing, man? How's your morning been? She could make that make a noise. This music's too sleepy. Let's get something a little more fun. What won't set off? YouTube's copyright stuff. Maybe one of these. No. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this. And we'll see if this works. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yes, yes, yes. When you gonna come by? 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 Yeah, this is no process. Brown game on lock. Devils. What's up, Daniel? Yes. I am inking this whole GD thing in Procreate on the iPad Pro. I mean, that's not entirely true, because I inked the first maybe 4 chapters in Photoshop before I got the iPad. But yeah, ever since I got it, I've shifted my whole workflow over to this bad boy. And I really, really dig it and enjoy it. And would totally recommend it. Especially now that with the next iOS update, 11 I think, is gonna have like a whole new file management system. That's gonna be like a game changer, because that's the one thing that I do not enjoy about working on the iPad Pro is the oh, there she goes. Is the file management on an iOS is just garbage. But yeah, the actual like drawing experience is amazing. I do a cursive Z. Amazing. Hey, don't install right now. There we go. It's automatically a beach house. Turn this down a little bit. On my end. There we go. Days better. Now we're talking. Man, Tony is pissed. Yeah, that's the guy. Freaking drawstrings. I feel like every character design has one little detail that I always forget. Or, honestly, more than one. For Tony, it's definitely his drawstrings. Also his little glasses things, I forget those a lot, even though they aren't in this panel. Yeah. Yeah. Totally, man. Drawing in general is very difficult. And then you throw technology in the mix too, and it can be very intimidating and or tough to get past the learning curve. But yeah, and like drawing on tablets specifically is it takes some getting used to for sure, especially if you're used to drawing on good old pen and paper, or pencil and paper. I got my first tablet, like my first Wacom tablet in high school, like late high school, and that was fun, but it was weird because it was like an Intuos, which is the kind that you're not drawing on the screen, you're drawing like just on a flat blank tablet, and then you're like looking up here at the screen as you're like doing your drawing. So there's like this big learning curve, like disconnect of like not looking at what your hand is doing. It's very strange. That's why I really like the iPad Pro or the Cintiq. I also have a Cintiq that I haven't used very much since I got this bad boy. I actually want to try animating on this thing. Done a couple little experiments. And I just downloaded the trial of Toon Boom, well, I guess Harmony is what it's called. Animation program on my Mac. Let's just playing around with that, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I still... Actually, I mean, honestly, it's pretty rare that I draw analog, like, on physical media with physical tools. I'm pretty much just a pixel pusher at this point. Yeah, and I'm so, like... I'm actually trying to, like, I don't know, after I finish this book, I want to work on kind of loosening up and being less kind of fussy, he said as he refined the eyelash pixel by pixel. Because it is, like, it's super handy to be able to, like, undo at the, click of a button or tap with a key or gesture of the fingers, but it's it goes both ways. It's like I have totally conditioned myself to be super picky way more than I need to, and like I can get really clean lines and really really massage the drawing until I get it exactly how I want it, but you can totally go overboard with that, like I do constantly. I'll be drawing like the same eyeball for 10 minutes when it should have only taken me like 45 seconds at most. So yeah, you can kind of like spoil yourself, and I do, when I do draw in my sketchbook, like I have a sketchbook, but I draw on it so infrequently that it's like anytime I actually am out. It's usually when I'm out, like hanging out with friends or something. I'll bring my sketchbook, and sometimes we'll do like a drink and draw or something. But it gets to the point where it's like, oh yeah, drawing on real paper. How novel. There's no screens or electricity involved. Just pen and ink. Another thing that I actually feel, embarrassed to admit. I was gonna say not embarrassed, but yes, it's actually very embarrassing to admit this. But it's so like muscle memory in my mind. So the way that you undo on the iPad Pro or in Procreate is you tap the screen with 2 fingers, so I can like draw a line and I just tap it. Just tap and then it undoes. I've been doing that for so long that it's just muscle memory. And last time I was drawing in my sketchbook, I actually like drew a line and I was like, I don't like that, and just automatically tapped my sketchbook with my 2 fingers, expecting the line to disappear. And I felt like a goddamn idiot and felt very silly. But you know, that's we're humans, and humans are stupid. But I don't know. For all the, I'd like to get to a point where I'm, you know, working more, like, kind of back and forth with analog media, like traditional media, and digital media. But you know, the actual act of drawing is so much faster and like easier to manipulate digitally for me, that it's, at least for this project, it's kind of hard to say no. I mean, there's just no question. It's like, this is the easiest way to do this project for me. But yeah, who knows? Maybe my next comicking foray will include more of that graphite. Yeah, it's so easy to do. It's like, I don't know, it's just muscle memory. It's just gets ingrained into your reflexes. It's so easy to kind of retrain our brains to expect certain things, or expect things to work in certain ways subconsciously. It's all in the mind, man. I will say I was even worse, you know, with being fussy and overworking my drawings, and like undoing and erasing and stuff, when I first started working on this book. Because I was actually super duper rusty. I'm talking about being rusty, you know, or out of practice with drawing earlier, like, after I graduated from school, I kind of took a kind of slightly unintentional hiatus from drawing, because I just got like a day job and was just so burnt out from making art for my thesis and stuff. I just didn't really draw much. So by the time I started working on this book, it had been like a year, more than a year, since I'd like had a regular drawing practice. So I was undoing like a madman when I first started working on this. I've gotten a little more comfortable. Yeah, totally. Commitment, like rolling with the punches. You gotta commit. And yeah, happy accidents. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I look at my work and I look at other people's work, you know, which is super easy to do thanks to the internet. And I think, man, like, oh, like these other artists, their styles are so unique and cool, and I love it. Man, I look at my work and I'm like, I don't even have a style. This is just like the way that I draw. But, you know, everybody has their own style, or whatever. Yeah, I guess I have style. But, yeah, I like, you know, I think I just naturally, like, my brain wants to make things nice and clean and tidy. But, yeah, I mean, you're talking about, like, happy accidents and, like, just rolling with the punches. Like, I feel like a lot of my work right now kind of lacks that, like, spontaneity and, like, I don't know, like, it's not improvisation, but just kind of, like, looseness, and it's just very rigid. Like, I feel like I have some amount of drawing chops, like I know how hands kind of work, and I know how to kind of, like, simplify hands to make them look okay, but I want to be able to, like, I don't know, do it in a way that isn't just like, oh, he knows how to draw a hand, good for him. I want it to be more, look at that hand. That's an interesting way to draw a hand. But, I don't know, that's the kind of shit that I feel like if you focus on, like, or obsess over, like, oh, I gotta develop my style. Like, oh, this is what I want my style to look like. You know, I feel like you can go down a rabbit hole of unproductive thinking. But, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe that's how people with really unique styles find their voice. It's by actually pursuing it. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a rambling man. I'm just full of hot air. In summation, thank you. I'm glad you like my drawings. And, yeah, I want to try to keep getting better. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. Oh, yeah, man. Cool. Thanks, dude. Yeah, that was almost, literally almost 10 years ago. I think I uploaded that to YouTube, or to Newgrounds in 2008. I was, like, fresh in college, and, yeah, it's almost, next year is 2018. It's almost 10 years ago. What? I'm so old. But yeah, I'm that's awesome, man. I'm really glad that you dug it, and, you know, I really enjoyed being on Newgrounds, and it was, like, such a exciting, fun place where just, like, a bunch of young dudes and dudettes were just, like, making cartoons all by themselves. And yeah, I don't know, I'd like to do some more independent animation. Cool, yeah, I like that kind of Seinfeld comparison. It really was, like, I mean, it totally is just a little short about nothing, just about these two dudes having a profane conversation in a diner, but, like, yeah, I don't know, it was really, like, I just sat down and was like, I want to animate something. What am I gonna animate? I don't know, I like these two guys that I drew. What would they be doing on just some random day? And I mean, that's really like the kind of like comedy style, or just like storytelling style that I'm really drawn to. It's just regular people doing regular stuff. Like, have you seen the show Home Movies? You've probably seen Bob's Burgers, I am sure. But kind of the precursor, like the show cartoon that a lot of people worked on, that work on Bob's Burgers now, like worked on Home Movies before. And that's like literally the animation is not that great or anything, but it's literally my favorite animated show of all time. Just like the writing and the acting, and like the animation too is like all super good. It all like serves the stories, and it's not like crazy flashy or anything, but it's hilarious. Okay, I'm almost done with this page. That's pretty good. Making decent time. Also got to finish, or at least try to finish, coloring the cover. Oh my god, don't burp on string. Gross. I gotta color the cover today at some point. What am I doing? Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Checking out Home Movies. Yeah, it's like, it's silly and fun, but like not a lot like Bob's Burgers. Like, it's silly and fun, but not super over the top. Yeah. King of the Hill. Same kind of, not vibe, totally different vibe, but very much the same kind of idea for sure. Taking the mundanity of life and finding the funny. Oh, here we go. Can I play the whole thing? Looks like I can. Let's do some kickball. Is it playing? It's playing. Yeah, absolutely. Klaus and... Is it Adrian Tomine or Tomine? I never figured that out. But yeah, they're totally two of my faves as well. Truly masters of their craft. Actually got to see Daniel Klaus give like a little do a like panel discussion, like interview thing at this like small press it's not quite a comic convention, but it was like a art convention fair thing. It's basically like an artist alley at like a comic convention, with a bunch of people selling prints and mini comics and zines and all kinds of goodies. But he gave a little talk just about his work and his creative experience, and it was super cool to get to hear him talk. It's called Lionwork, was the convention here in Portland, which I don't know if they're doing again. I hope they do, because it was awesome. Okay. Kate's looking good. Tony's looking good. Jesse's looking good. Noah's looking good. Everybody's looking great. There we go. Fussing around again. When I fuss around. Oh boy. There we go. Why not? I think I can. Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Man, this air conditioner is too good. It's getting a little chilly. Turn that down. It's too cold. Oh, you're from Scotland. I was almost going to do a terrible Scottish accent, just instinctively, but I'm not going to, because that would be terrible. That's awesome. What time is it in Scotland right now? I'm trying to think. I can't. It's probably like evening time or nighttime or something. But yeah, I know a lot of Portlanders feel like Portlandia is just it's like, oh, it's such a misrepresentation of our city, whatever. But I would, I think it's definitely got its, it's not that far off, I guess I would say. Of course, it's like heightened and like exaggerated for comedic effect, but yeah, they definitely hit on some pretty hit it pretty close to home for the most part. Plus, I think it's very funny. I think it's good commentary. I would totally watch a show called Scotlandia if IFC made that. What representation in popular media of Scotland do you feel like is A, most well known, and B, most accurate? I'm trying to think of, like, I can't even think of movies that Scotland, like, prominently as part of, at least none that I've seen, but I haven't seen very many movies. I feel like I'm extremely cinematically illiterate. I'm such a plebe. Why am I still drawing this page? I need to move on. Everybody looks fine. Y'all look great. Yay, okay, moving on. Okay. I think I'm gonna draw this last page, and then I need to start coloring. Or keep coloring, I should say. 21:50, dang. So that's like, what is that, 11 p.m.? Almost midnight, right? No, it's like 10. Oh my god, I'm so bad at like military time or whatever you call that. I'm also just really bad at math. That's part of it too. I'm trying to like, I think that's like, if 20 is 10 o'clock, then 21 would be 11. Right? No. 20 would be 8 o'clock p.m.? 24. Cool. Okay, thanks. Oh man, I was really struggling there. Thanks, Daniel. Coming to my rescue. 10 to 10. Cool. God, I'm an idiot. Derp, derp, derp. That's why I draw, because I can't count. I am useless. Alright. Do I need any of the thumbnails on this page? For inks? No. Okay. Actually, I'll turn those up just a little bit. So do you also do some drawing, Daniel? You said you did a bit, but we're kind of out of practice. It's hard, man. And it's really hard when you're out of practice to like find motivation to practice. Like I said, I was like super out of practice before I started this book, which I've literally been working on for 2.5 years, I think. You know, in addition to doing other stuff here and there, but yeah, like if it wasn't for getting into this project, I mean, I'm sure I would have found something else to get me back into making stuff, but yeah, having this project to like, as a, not even an excuse, but as like a necessity to draw more, is really helped me like warm back up. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, you know. I feel like I've been working on this book, and anytime that I'm drawing, I'm basically drawing this. And it's fun, and I enjoy it, but like, especially a lot of the stuff I can't share or post, because I don't want to give away any spoilers. I'm very selective about which pages I stream and share on the internet and stuff, but yeah, I feel like I want to do more drawing stuff kind of for funsies. That's part of why I wanted to start streaming again, is, you know, when I catch back up on this deadline, I want to like do more kind of freeform streams of like, hey, let's just hang out and draw, and, you know, people in chat like give me suggestions, and I'll try to do drawing requests and like maybe do commissions and stuff. Cause yeah, it's like I love drawing this comic, but it's so like just the same thing all the time. I'm just drawing these 4 kids over and over again in the woods. Oh, whoops. Which, like I said, is fun and good, but yeah. Whenever I'm drawing something else that isn't for this book, I get this like feeling of guilt, of like, oh, I should be working on the book right now. What am I doing? Limmy from Glasgow. I'm going to plop that into my Google. And I will totally check him out later. Oh, yes, okay. Train Spotting. I mean, I haven't seen either of those, Train Spotting or Sweet 16. But yeah, man. Like, I know of both of those movies. Or do I know Sweet 16? That's different than 16 Candles, right? That's a total, because I haven't seen that either. But yeah, I should watch Train Spotting. I know that's like, I know it's like an intense movie, and that's probably part of why I haven't seen it yet. Still, it's like there's all these like really intense things that I know I should watch that I haven't seen. They're like culturally important, but I gotta be in the right mood, you know. I'd love to go to Scotland someday. Just the UK in general, but specifically Scotland. I think I'm like a quarter Scottish in ancestry, and then like an 1/8 Welsh, and I don't know. But yeah, I would totally love to visit Scotland someday. I feel like it's very similar to Portland in terms of climate. Very, very cold and moist, rainy most of the year. That's my impression, at least. So I feel like I would fit right in. Oh, cool. Awesome. I will totally check your stuff out, man. Thanks for sharing. Oh, cool. Web development. Now, there's a freaking real deal skill. I have super vaguely dabbled in web development, and I wish that it came more naturally to me. I mean, I'm sure, just like anything, just like drawing, you could like practice it and learn about it and get better at it. But yeah, web development's cool. Is that what you do for a day job and bringing home the bacon? Yep, same here. Except today is just absolutely lovely. In fact, I am going to pull these for these blinds here. Not all the way though, because then I get a glare on my... yeah, okay, there we go. There we go. Oh, it's beautiful out! So check this out. Oh, you can't see anything! Because I have the exposure locked. Oh well. Oh man, I'm gonna give you a motion sickness. There we go. Yeah, I like the, I'm a fan of the rain and the cold for the most part. I like sunshine, don't get me wrong, I'm not an asshole. But I like in the fall when it starts to rain and the leaves change. And then all the leaves fall and it gets wet and they get all mushy and then it's just gross. But what do you do? I would actually rather be cold and be able to bundle up, you know, most months out of the year than be hot and sweaty and, you know, miserable most days of the year. Like living in LA or something. Cool, man. Yes, I'm having my friend and former roommate and fellow Portland comic artist, Tate Howard, is flatting it for me. So he's doing all like the basic flat colors and stuff. And then I'll be doing like the final coloring of it, where I go in and add the details and shadows and lighting and blah 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 blah. But yeah, so that's gonna take about probably another month or so. And then yeah, I think the book is supposed to come out early next year. So it's still a little ways off, but yeah, man, it's gonna be cool. I'm really excited for it. Like I said, I've been working on it for so long. It's hard to believe that it's gonna be an actual thing that other people will see with their eyes and read with their brains. But yeah, I'm excited. This will be like my first like legit published comic work. I've done a little bit of like freelance stuff, like I did some cover work and stuff like that, but this is like my first actual published comics sequential art. It's going to be published through Oni Press, which is a publisher here in Portland who published the Scott Pilgrim series, among other really cool comics. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. And yeah, it's kind of at this point, it's like I'll believe it when I see it once it's out. I mean, it's coming out. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of like, it's not gonna feel real, like real until I'm holding it in my hands, and then I'm probably gonna freak out and lose my mind. But yeah, it's pretty intense having like, you know, I have some friends who. I have one friend, Zach, who draws or did a lot of the art, did a lot of the main issues for the Adventure Time comic for Boom. And yeah, I don't think that was his first gig, but that's like, you know, he kind of cut his teeth, I think, doing like a monthly book where it's like, okay, you're drawing a shit ton of comics, but like they're coming out consistently. But yeah, like having this be my first comics thing is like, oh, super cool. Like I'm gonna have a whole book, like a OGN graphic novel That's gonna be so cool. But like, I've been working on this one thing for so long without like it existing and anybody like seeing it. It's like, I just want to finish it. I want to share it with people. But yeah, it's good. I'm not complaining. I'm just like, I'm just eager to get it out. Yeah, man. They do single issue series. I think, like, at least in the past, they primarily did trades. But I think more recently they're doing more, like, serialized single issue comics. Specifically, they're doing with like their licensed titles. They have both the Invader Zim comic license and the Rick and Morty comic license that they're doing series of. Which I did a cover for the Invader Zim one, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so those are totally just like, you know, floppy 22-page books that come out monthly. And then I think they do have some like original series too that are coming out that are on the monthly schedule. But where'd the music go? Oh, album's over. But I think for the most part it's still like graphic novels. Oh wait, what? No, do the whole album. Yeah, there we go.
Don't you love something 'cause you hate the opposite? You broke your own heart.
Okay, I gotta speed up here.
Don't you love something 'cause you hate the opposite? You broke your own heart.
Typical Matthew. Say I've got to speed up and then I immediately redraw the chin 5 times. Gotta get it look right. That's why this effing book has taken 2 years, 2+ years. Keep it going. I should really give myself like a timer when I'm inking. I can only spend so many seconds per panel. Seconds. Minutes, maybe. Better than hours, though.
What if I forgot that deepest fear and tried living Let me do this, let me do this, let me do this.
It is definitely more painstaking. Thanks, dude. Ah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like a... I wouldn't go so far as to say an existential crisis, but I could say that if I wanted to be melodramatic. But yeah, I'm getting to a point now where it's like... I love drawing comics. I love the medium of comics. And I love animation. And, the art of making animation. Or the craft and the form and blah 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 of making animation. They're both super hard. Animation is definitely harder to do by yourself, or outside of like a studio system. Whereas comics, you can kind of do more, as a sole proprietor. Not sole proprietor. I mean, I guess, but it's a dorky way to put it. I spit on my tablet. But yeah, it's more of like, can be kind of a lone wolf in comics, which I am drawn to. But it also comes down to like the industries surrounding both art forms, and honestly, like, comes down to like how much you can get paid for what kind of work and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of like, I don't know. I don't really have a solid answer. I think as far as like artistically, I don't really have a preference for like which I enjoy doing more. I love them both. Comics, I like the immediacy of like, okay, I can like do the scene or like draw out this scenario, these characters and these expressions, and like tell a story efficiently with my drawings or whatever. But I love with animation how there's like a performative aspect to it, and how there's like theatrical aspects to it, like sound and music and timing, and you can get a lot of like subtlety, I think, in animation that isn't impossible with comics, but it's just like, it's a different thing. I really like the subtlety, I think, of animation. Like you can have like a character just give like a little weird look for like a couple of frames, and it can read really quickly but make a big difference in like what the story being told means. I don't know. But yeah, I'm at this point now where it's like I've got to kind of, well, I don't have to like decide. Like, I know there's a lot of people who work in the animation industry, like work at a studio or at a network or something as their kind of day job, and then will make their own mini comics and stuff, or like comics through publishers kind of in their free time, which I like that idea a lot. It's also like you have to be kind of fucking insane to do that because it's so it's just like work constantly. So you really have to like have both the time and the dedication to like do nothing but create. So that's a possibility, but I also know, you know, there's like a lot of the old kind of Newgrounds crew that like kind of got their start online and like kept up with their fans and stuff as they went, you know, as they got older. Like I didn't. Like, you know, you got like Ego Raptor and Rubber Ross and Yotam Parallel, you know, Lazy Muffin. Like all those dudes are like doing animation and stuff independently, but it's still like super hard. I don't know, everything's super hard. And it's weird, like, you know, the landscape of how we, how do I say this without sounding like a millennial douchebag? The landscape of how we consume media, man, is constantly changing. And like for a while it seemed like YouTube was going to be like a really good, you know, option and like possibility for independent animators to like do their thing and publish their work online and like have it seen and like get paid from ad revenue and stuff. But then YouTube changed their algorithms, and you know, Ross Donovan, Rubber Ross, like made a big video about it a long time ago. But yeah, I don't know, like it'd be cool if I could do animation all by myself, and like do my own stories and whatever and live off of that. And there's like Patreon too. I've thought about Patreon as an option, but again, you kind of have to like have like a following, or you know, people to like invest in it and stuff. But I don't know, there's a lot of possibilities, but it's intimidating and it's hard to like make decisions on what to hedge your bets on. But I did, like, me and my partner Sandra did this, I got contracted to do a segment on this animated show for MTV last year, which we basically, I mean, I did most of everything. She helped me with the backgrounds, but it was like doing, you know, a animated short for Newgrounds, except I was, you know, doing it for this MTV show, and it like was a really good experience, and it was super duper hard, but I kind of feel like proved to myself a little bit that like, okay, I could do this myself and like do freelance work and make a living doing it. But I don't know, shit's hard. Yeah, it's different for sure. Like comedic timing for comics versus comedic timing for animation. Like it's I don't know if it's harder as much as it is just like a totally different way of thinking and like approach to writing. Writing's hard. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the like, to do something on that scale of like a TV show, you really like, I don't know, you need a team of people doing it, and like whether that's a small studio of like, because I know Ross Donovan is like trying to do his what is it called, the thing that he like streams on Twitch sometimes, working on, or at least did. I don't know if he's still doing that, but I forget what it was, like Creativerse or something. Creativerse, something verse. But he's like trying to get that made, and I think he's trying to do it like independently. I think Game Grumps is like helping finance it or whatever. And and he has like a team of people helping him with it, but it's so he has like a little studio, but it's all like his friends and stuff and like people he's met online. So it's still kind of like a studio system. He's not doing it just himself, but like, you know, he has more creative control or whatever. And then there's like the studio, it's like this completely digital studio, and by digital I mean like they exist. I don't think they have a physical location or anything. They're all just like work together online, but they're called Studio Yotta, YOTTA, just like that. And they make these like beautiful animations, and they did like contract work for Cartoon Network. They did one of the like original KO shorts, like in my opinion the best looking one. And they're like, you know, just a kind of a group of friends who like learned how to animate online. You know, maybe some of them went to college. Actually, I'm sure some of them went to college for animation. But like, they're just doing shit online and like doing it themselves. And I don't know, that's really alluring to me. I don't know. There's a lot of options. And you know, part of me feels like still like, oh, I'm young. I have time to like figure out my career. But in reality, I mean, I'm 28. I'm riding up on that dirty 30. Like 2 years, I'm gonna be 30 years old, and I don't know. I gotta make some decisions, I think. 'Cause I always feel like I've been kind of a, you know, I'm good at some things, or whatever, but like I've always kind of felt like a little bit of a jack of many trades, not quite like master of any of them. And I feel like if I was more decisive about like what I spend my time doing and like working on and practicing, like it could get really, really good. But and like, I don't know, fully invest in something, but it's hard to like make those decisions. I don't know, I get inside my own head a lot. Yeah, no, totally. I bet doing web development, working from home, like, oh, that's very difficult. It's very hard to stay motivated. Actually, so my partner Sandra also does comics and illustration and all that jazz. And we were actually sharing an external studio space for a while, and that was super cool. Just like an office that we would go to work at, just to get out of the house. Like we had our computers and stuff there. But we recently had to move out of that space, and so I've brought my whole setup back home, and I'm working from our tiny little studio apartment again. I'm literally working in our living room / bedroom. Got my desk and then my bed right next to it. And then my kitchen right to the left. I'm living the Portland, Oregon dream. Which is like, I don't know, it's nice, but it's nice to be home. But I can only do this, I feel like, for so long before I start to like slip and start waking up a little later, going to bed a little later, and then, you know, start getting more distracted by whatever, dishes or house stuff, or just wanted to hang out. Like, I really like having a separate work space versus just like working from home. Like, I can do this for short bursts, but I really need to get out. Luckily, Sandra and I have another studio space kind of lined up that we are on the wait list for. It's a really cool spot. Not too far away. So this is just kind of temporary working from home right now. But for the time being, it is acceptable. Man, listen to me just rambling. This guy ever shut up? Me, not you. Thanks for hanging out and chatting, Daniel. It was cool. Oh, how do you draw thumbs? Yeah. I agree. Healthy lifestyle. What's that? It's hard. It's hard. Figuring out how to be a human being. It's not impossible, though, for sure. And like I said, I do actually enjoy working from home. I wish that I was like better at it. There are some people who can like do it no problem, or at least, you know, not no problem, but are more disciplined enough to like be able to be on top of their shit consistently. But I don't know if that's me. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's always, I mean, it always kind of blows my mind when I meet somebody, either, you know, face to face or on the interwebs, and they're like, oh, hey, I have, you know, watched your videos or read your stuff or seen your drawings for a long time, and it's whatever, like, I like them, and it's like, whoa, that's cool. That's always really nice, and like makes me feel like, okay, cool, I'm not just like shouting into the ether always. But yeah, that time difference, man, that whole sun revolving around our circular Earth at different points of the day really puts a damper on things. I have a friend, this dude Jesse Jones, who's an animator. He's super good. I don't see him very often, but it's like an internet buddy. And I think he lives in Portland. He lives in America, but most of his like people that follow him on like Twitch and online on YouTube and stuff are from, a lot of them are from either the UK or just, you know, Europe. in general. And so he actually streams. I think he wakes up at like 4 in the morning, like on the days that he streams, which is like pretty frequently, pretty often. And he'll like wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to stream, and like hang out with, you know, all of his UK buddies. And I super admire that and wish that I could do that. But I cannot, because I have terrible sleeping habits. And I am terrible at waking up in the morning. I've gotten a little better. Not as bad as I used to be. But yeah, man. It's the beauty of the internet, though, you know? It's like you meet people from all over the goddamn world. That's super cool. Internet is bringing people together. So being a web developer, is your do you try to keep like a pretty consistent like daily schedule, like waking up at a certain time and you know, getting to work and all that kind of stuff, or do you kind of play it more by ear, just kind of take it as it comes? Oh, this one panel is taking forever. I'll start with it though. Drawing bodies is hard. Interested to see if any of these songs that I'm playing tip off the YouTube copyright bots. So I'm not trying to steal nobody's music or nothing. Just want something nice to play. Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Cool. See, that's awesome. That's a healthy lifestyle right there. That's a good schedule. When I was doing that MTV thing, I was definitely better in terms of like my schedule, because kind of a similar thing. Like I was working. I wasn't working directly for MTV. I was working with the. Excuse me. I was working for the animation studio that they hired to do the contract work for the series called Shadow Machine. But yeah, like they, you know, they were like, I was working with them, and we would have like, we did more like emailing than actual like getting in on meetings with them or anything, like video what do you call that, like video meetings, but I still, like, if I wasn't, you know, working, you know, by like 9 in the morning, I felt really antsy, like, oh no, what if they email me and I don't respond? I just want them to like me. Think that I'm professional adult. But yeah, when I'm like working on this comic has been really tough because like I've got deadlines and I've got stuff I'm trying to meet, but it's basically like weekly check-ins of like, hey, how are those pages coming? And blah blah blah. And are we still on schedule? And I'll have to be like, no, I'm gonna need a little more time. I laugh, but it actually really bums me out when I have to do that. But my point is, like, it's harder for me to like keep track of. I enjoy having external structure. That's something that I miss from not working at a company, or something that I feel like I would value working at a company is like, oh, I have to be there at 9 in the morning in the studio at my computer, like getting started on whatever, duties of the day, or else I'm gonna get fired. And but when I'm working on my own schedule, it's like, oh, I can, I'll just watch this 40-minute long Let's Play video while I eat my breakfast, and I'll get started around whenever. I mean, I've definitely gotten way better than I used to be, but I don't know, it's hard. I feel like I'm on a confession right now or something. Confessing my sins. But I'm getting better. I'm learning. Sandra's, my partner, has actually been a huge help. She is way more organized and goal-oriented than I am naturally. So she's been awesome. But Matthew's got to look after himself. Need to take personal accountability. Also, I just gotta finish this goddamn book. Which it's coming. I don't think I'm gonna be able to stream any of working on the next chapter, actually. This is the third to last chapter, I believe. And the end of this chapter is actually not slightly, it's pretty spoilery. So I can't stream the last couple of pages of this one. But I definitely can't stream any of the next chapter. Because that's when shit gets crazy! Yeah. Yeah. Just having the office for yourself, for sure. That does make a big difference for me. And yeah, sharing it with Sandra, and we're going to be sharing our next space with some of our other friends who are already there. And yeah, that will make a huge difference, and hopefully, I would still like to get some experience working at an actual studio, working in an animation studio and the studio system. That's actually kind of what I'm gonna try to kind of hitch my wagon to this year after I finish wrapping up this book, because I want to try to get some experience, working in an animation studio. It's see how it works and how it's run and how to work, how all that stuff. But yeah, I think ultimately I would like to work for myself. I mean, that's that's a lot of people's dreams for sure. I gotta stop burping. So those cookies Sandra made last night. Yeah, that's like, it's kind of like the dream is to like be your own boss and like set your own rules, and yeah, I would like that. I mean, I do like it right now, but I don't know. I'd like to get multiple experiences. I'd like to get experience in multiple kind of creative environments, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. You don't know what you don't know until you know. Yeah, I feel like I can see, or I could see a lot of similarities in both like web development and just like art and like artistic industries. I think web development is totally like a creative field. Like you're using, I think, similar parts of your brain. You're like problem solving and thinking about how to solve problems. Problem solving. But actually the studio space, the office shared workspace that Sandra and I are going to be moving into soon is there's a bunch of game developers there, which is like a whole nother aspect of like a whole nother artistic avenue that I'd love to experiment more in and want to like get more involved in, is making games and like doing art for games and stuff. But yeah, that's like similar stuff, like, you know, in art and like web development, game development, like being around people who do what you do or are trying to do and learning from them is like invaluable and wholly necessary. Like, I think that's something like, you know, a lot of people ask like, oh, hey, do you think it's like necessary to go to art school to like, you know, learn how to be an artist or whatever, be a professional artist? And I feel like hell no, like not by any stretch of the imagination is it necessary. I think like some of the most valuable stuff that I got out of going to art school was, you know, I learned about the craft and the technique of like of art of like drawing and animation and comics and stuff, but more so it was like meeting people and like learning stuff from other people and kind of being a part of a community of other artists. Like that was huge. That was a big part of it for me. And while it took me a while and I spent a lot of money, took out a lot of loans that I will be paying back for a long time, like I think it was worth it, you know. Ooh. So yeah, just being around other people, like, it's important. Which, like, a lot of these same reasons are why I think streaming is so cool, and like doing art streams and stuff, because you can like hang out with somebody as they make their stuff and like see how they do it and talk to them about it, and like how freaking cool is that? Oh my god, what is that? Like, that's so fucking cool. I was watching, my friend Marlo yesterday was streaming yesterday morning. She was like making these art assets, these like characters for a video game, for a game jam that she's working on. And she was working in Photoshop, and she was like, you know, I've used Photoshop for years and feel like pretty confident with it. Like, I can do what I need to with it to, like, you know, achieve my artistic needs or whatever. But like, even just watching her and like talking to her, like, she was doing all this crazy stuff. I was like, oh, how did you do that? Or yeah, oh, I forgot you could do that. Or I forgot you could like select transparencies or set transparency layer, and I don't know, just all this stuff. It's like, oh, it's so cool to like hang out and watch people do their thing. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, games are cool. I don't know, like, that's a whole nother, like, you know, I was saying, I feel like I've kind of been like a jack of many trades. That was like another thing that I really like was getting into, was like game development and like high school and early college. Like, I don't know if you ever saw like back in my Newgrounds days, I was working on this little platformer game called Duder, and I was like making it in this program called Multimedia Fusion that was like this kind of like game maker, but more a little more like powerful, and you could like do like pseudo coding from like drag and drop stuff. I don't know, it was really cool. And I was like having fun making that, and then my computer died and my hard drive crashed and I lost a ton of work on it, and so I got really frustrated and gave up. But I've always like, oh, and then I got a Mac, and they didn't have that program for Macs, so I couldn't really start over or pick it back up. I mean, I could have started over, but I don't know. That's always like been kind of a thing of like, oh man, like game development is this whole other area that I'm interested in, but where do you find the time to pursue your dreams? Be multi-disciplined. Who knows? Maybe someday Duder will live again. I mean, he does kind of live again. Like, he's in some of the comics and stuff. Little mini comics that I've made. But, I don't know. Maybe I'll make a video game someday. Maybe I'll be an animator. Maybe I'll draw comics. Maybe I'll make a video game. Maybe I'll make a goddamn decision. Thanks, dude. I don't think so. I don't think it exists on the internet anywhere anymore. I had a link to the demo on my old website before I changed. Before I changed to Squarespace, but I don't even know if it would work on modern PCs. It's PC only. It doesn't run on Macs, but if you're a web developer, I assume you probably have a PC. But I don't know. Let me see if I can find a copy of it, either floating around on the internet or like re-upload it or something. And maybe like next time, if I ever, you know, if I see you again in chat, I can like, I'll have a link ready to share with you. It's not that fancy or exciting. It's literally like just 2 levels. One level where you're literally walking from one end of a field, like up a mountain, and then into a cave, and you're just like walking around. And then the next level is like, the next one's pretty fun. You gotta like kill all these enemies and collect their orbs, so you can like go hang out with your love interest or whatever. But yeah. Fancy man. Dual booting. I actually have thought about, I should figure out how to do that. I mean, I know it's not difficult. I know you can either do like what is it, boot camp, or you can like, do you have to like partition your hard drive or something? I don't know. I've thought about doing that for like getting into like streaming like actual gameplay on my Twitch channel, because I don't have enough obligations or creative pursuits right now. That's a joke. But yeah, I should just figure it out. Boot camp. Okay. So is that the one that like just kind of emulates? Not doesn't emulate Windows, like it runs Windows, but like, is that the one where you have to like, where you can run Windows in a window on your Mac, or is that the one where you actually like have to like restart your computer into like each operating system? Or is there even a difference, or am I just making stuff up? I can't remember how I even think these things work. I can't remember how I think these things work. That doesn't make any sense. Oh my god, the silence is deafening. What are we doing here? Yes. A little more kickball. And I should eat something. There we go. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Okay. That's what I thought. Okay, that's how I thought it worked. Which is cool. I like that. Boot camp is it the program? Like, do you have to purchase boot camp? And is it expensive? I guess you would have to buy a version of Windows also, right? And isn't that like pretty expensive? The license for Windows? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. All these floating heads without any backgrounds. That's how you do comics. I'll do backgrounds later when I feel like it. Uh-oh. Okay. It's good enough. Okay. Gotcha. Wink! Obtain. Okay, cool. Interesting. That is something to consider. I mean, that was actually something I thought about doing to like keep working on that game. But the program that I was using was pretty like janky anyways, and I was like, well, if I want to like try to keep working on Deuter, I should like find another development platform. Like I hear that Unity is like both pretty powerful and actually not that intimidating. Like it's obviously, you know, a lot of work, but it's not as like unapproachable as other coding options or whatever. Oh, I'm out of my element. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm always so fussy with the eyes. I feel like that's the thing I spend the most time drawing and redrawing. Losing time on. The eyes are so difficult. So tough. Yeah, totally, Daniel. If I may call you Daniel. That was awesome. Thanks for hanging out, man. That was super fun. Go get some good sleep. Enjoy Scotland. And, yeah, thanks for hanging out, man. Take it easy. I'll see you next time. Right. Cool, dude. I'll keep you posted. Take it easy, man. Oh, I'm getting tired. It's kind of warm in here, but the AC is gone. What's up with that? Well, see goes. There we go. That's better. There we go. It's automatically a beach house if you build a house at the beach. It's automatically a beach house. Whoops. Alright, I've got 2.5 more faces to draw. And then I'm going to take a little lunch break. And then I'm going to color the shit out of the cover to this comic book. song is strangely relevant. Okay, one more. this puppy up. Filling these sweet pupes, and we'll call it good. Sweet pupes, brah. Oh boy. I need to take a break. Eat some lunch. Pee in the toilet. I guess I could have kept that to myself. Oh. Somebody needs some eyelashes. Did I know what I missed? I think so. Yeah, that's good. Alright. How do I... Oop. There we go. Cool. Oh, it's perfect timing. Love when that works out that way. It's like the soundtrack to my life. Alright. Thanks for hanging out. Maybe I'll stream later this evening. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. That was fun. Thanks to Daniel for hanging and chatting for so long. That was super cool. And yeah, that was a blast. Now how do I end this thing? I think I gotta end it on Facebook first. Bye, Facebook! And now I end it in OBS. Bye, rest of the internet.